Hi guys, it's how we wake up every morning. That's my girlfriend. Yeah, I decided to trade Lisa for Sasha. Hey baby, are you happy, girl? Are you happy, girl? Well, you're gonna be pretty. You're gonna be pretty. You wanna wake up? You're gonna wake up. You wanna go to Morton? No, not even a move with Tim Morton. She is beautiful.
She's pretty chill.
What? She turned to you.
Hi guys, well I'm just saying that, just a personal, wonderful caregiver nurse or something could use some prayers tonight, so this is just how one of our nights go. Sorry, I just directed off here, but anyways, yeah, so this was unexpected tonight, but this is the life of a medical family. Sometimes people are human beings. Things happen. Hi guys, so Hugo, do you want to tell everybody what we're doing?
We're going to get coffee. That's it.
There's Quartz.
We're going to get coffee.
She's saying hi.
You know, it's unbelievable what's going on. I tell you, if you guys will know everything what's going on in our life, you guys will not believe it. And just example, we have no nurse last night, but well, I should say, we have a nurse, but all of a sudden she always very nice nurse.
Very,
you know,
one of our best nurses.
It's more than a nurse. It's become family friends after a
5
while,
years.
and she always show up about 20 minutes early, and I always see the light through the through the road there, and I know she's there. And all of a sudden the phone call ring, and it's our nurse on the phone, and she's seriously not feeling good, and we can hear on her voice she's borderline to cry. And well, Lisa told her, Hugo's gonna go see you outside, and I go outside. She have chest pain. By the way, she have like an underlying condition. Yeah, and she has chest pain and sweating and things like that. And she told me your boyfriend's gonna come get her. And but all of a sudden I'm on the deck because I doesn't want just smuggler her. Then I stay on the deck at home and watching her by the window, and she's doing okay. And all of a sudden I hear the fire truck and the ambulance. Her boyfriend have called the ambulance, and yeah. And we end up with no nurse.
I kept saying last night, I think she needs an ambulance. She's going to need an ambulance. And you kept saying no. And I said, I think they're going to call the ambulance. And then I heard the truck, and I was like, Hugo, I think the fire truck is coming here. And you said, no, it's not. She doesn't want an ambulance. Anyways, we're going to order.
We're going to pause it, and we're going to come back.
Hi, guys. As Sasha has done. Just before, right while we're starting this, it's been quite the night, I guess. I don't know, where do we want to start, Hugo?
I don't know. You always decide where we start. Otherwise, we get in an argument.
We're just completely opposite half the time. So, anyways, we thought we would start talking about, we were into these topics last night and starting to have these discussions and political discussions back and forth, and I didn't see Hugo's point of view, and Hugo wasn't seeing my point of view, and I was in the middle of doing something, and then all of a sudden we get this phone call. It was kind of a bit of a panic. So anyways, you know, and then it did lead into more of a situation. Honestly, Hugo.
Star Trooper glasses. And anyway, she's not been very polite. Usually she started better than this. She said,
"Oh, I'm
I
Lisa.
want to
It's
say
Hugo."
welcome.
Yeah, and I want to say welcome to my new channel. Sorry, I'm not very good at this. I apologize.
Okay. I gotta
Hugo,
help you.
then
What
you
is
do
the
it.
name of your channel?
What do you think it is?
Rageful Peace.
Peaceful Rage.
No, it's Rageful Peace.
No, you're Rageful Peace. I'm Peaceful Rage. No.
Thank you for watching, and yeah, it's like it's been so. I tell you, if we will keep going saying story, you guys will not believe. All kind of story happened to us, and I mean it's one after another. Yesterday, I laugh, but it's not very funny. We've been, you know, we have few different nurses take care of my daughter, and they are more than the nurse. They are family, friends, and
some of them stay with us for years. So it's like 4 years, 5 years. Some of us have been with us 2 years, 3 years. So.
Yeah, and we really appreciate them, and you know they are very good with our family, and and anyway, the nurse we always used to see her car come in. We see the light through the window, and I was not concerned. We get the nurse tonight. I can see the light through the window, and all of a sudden, the phone ring, and yeah, and then Lisa keep going the story a little bit.
Yeah, so anyways, we're having this discussion. Me and Hugo, it wasn't an argument, but it was just a discussion that we both were like, you know what, whatever, it's the end of the night, I'm tired, you're tired, I don't care about your opinion, you don't care about mine.
I tell you, she's very grumpy when she's tired. And I swear, guys, sometimes it's better to be with the dog. I swear to God, it's better to be with the dog sometimes.
Yeah, they're a little bit warmer sometimes. So anyways, yeah, so anyways, all of a sudden I get this phone call, and you can hear a little bit of distress in her nurse's voice, and I know that nothing, you know, something's wrong, and you can also have that sense of feeling in the atmosphere. It's just like the silence before anything, and you know just something's coming. So anyways, so she called, and she's like, I'm not feeling good, I'm having chest pains on the way here, it just started, blah, 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 and I'm like, okay. So we're like, do you need an ambulance? She's like, no. Do you need Hugo to come check you out? No. And I'm like, well, no, I'm going to send Hugo out because I was concerned by the sounds of her breathing, things like that. And I was like, you know, both of us obviously cannot leave at this situation. We have Anna, who we have to care for, and my other daughter. So Hugo ran out. And he was observing her, and she's saying she's fine and stuff like that. Her boyfriend's coming to get her, and so then Hugo comes in, he's giving me updates, and he's, you know, helping me reassure both our daughters, and, you know, Anna's crying because this is one of her, you know, favorite nurses and stuff. Like, I mean, she has so many favorite nurses. Like, there's so many nurses that are so good to her. But yeah, so she was.
But the thing is, she knows the schedule. She knows
she knows
day
the
of the
schedule.
week we are. She knows which nurse coming in on that night, and then she knows some nurse do more specific stuff, other nurse do something else. And she's very used to that routine. She knows those days she's going to be with that nurse. She knows she's going to do those kind of activity. Then, you know, is disappointed specifically for a child.
Not only that, but she's also like family to Anna as well. So, I mean, like in that sense, she's always caring for Anna. So you got to imagine they are that extra mother hen that comes into your home that you adapt your life around again. Or they adapt, you know, they come in, like you're literally living in a home with nurses almost on a frequent basis. So in and out, and people for 14, 15 years in and out of our home, helping with care, trick changes, all that kind of stuff. So on a regular basis, we've had a lot of people in and out of our home, and, you know, they become like family. So you just become an adaptive life with them. So for Anna, it was really hard to understand that this was happening. And then when she saw the fire truck, she was really concerned. We eventually, all of a sudden, I'm like sitting there going, you know, I'm thinking about the ambulance and things like that. And he goes like, no, she's reassuring me, no ambulance. And I just have that feeling right here. And then all of a sudden I'm like, Hugo, I hear a fire truck. And he's like, oh, no, it's not coming here. So it's in the distance.
Look, it's funny. We hear fire truck here all the time, and we become immunized to it when we are at home. When we are somewhere else with the van, and we know the nurse is at home with Anna, and all of a sudden we see the fire truck going towards home, we need to turn around. But when I'm basically see my daughter 30 seconds ago, I'm not concerned about the noise of the fire truck. And all of a sudden, the noise getting closer. I said, oh, it might be just a coincidence. But no, they show up in the street.
They show up right in front of
that'd
him.
be a very good coincidences. But no, it stopped at the front of the house, and all of a sudden, the guy come out of the fire truck, and they start getting, because, you know, we have this fire crew at home 2 years ago for my daughter, and it was the same crew at all, the same exact crew. And the guy was getting ready to go up the ramp. I said, no, guys, it's not here. She's in the car. And one of the firemen, remember, was a very bad episode 2 years ago, and it doesn't turn out quite good. And I'm going to go in detail with that later on.
In
but
that
anyway,
situation,
the police has been called, and it's been... Anna Ashley almost passed away that day, and it was very stressful. And it's funny because it broke the ice a little bit when they realized yes, she needed to go to the hospital, but she was fairly stable. And then the crew started talking to me a little bit and asked me how my daughter was doing. They have done an amazing job because they even take time. The fire crew stay all along, and the ambulance have take care of the nurse. And the fire crew take time to ask me if I want them to do something, to contact somewhere to see if we can get a replacement nurse. But the company already have called, and it was already organized. They have no nurse to last minute like this, and to what we fairly understand, and we take care of her. Lisa take care of her all night. Wake me up this morning at 5 o'clock.
Oh gosh, I'm just thinking about some of this a little bit. It's kind of ironic to say.
And we're gonna show what's happened. Tell the story.
Well, I was just kind of giggling a little bit at the idea. It's not funny, but I was just thinking, it's just kind of ironic that here finally, like we're calling the ambulance, but it was this time. It's always sometimes it's the odd person, like my mom or somebody else, but this time it was one of our nurses, and it was weird because you're sitting there going, well, the ambulance was taking care of the nurse, and it just sounds so ironic.
Yeah, I remember it was kind of funny when the fire crew come out of the vehicle, and they said, oh, we are not us, it's somebody else who have called the nurse, that have called the ambulance. But when they come out of the vehicle, and I told them, oh, the nurse, it's not for the ambulance is not for my daughter, it's from the nurse. You can see the confusion on their face, like, what do you mean? We come from the nurse of your daughter. Yeah, my daughter is fine, my nurse is not. It's like
Yeah, it was a really ironic situation, so they're getting ready to come up the ramp and start treating for what the situation's in the house, being prepared for it this time, but this time that wasn't the situation. Last time our daughter went septic, but that's another long story. And septic is a term of like a toxin to the body somewhere. So like some sort of infection that is causing an internal infection that you have to start treating rapidly or find out where it is rapidly. And it can be very deadly. So people, once they go septic, you're against the time clock pretty much.
Anyway, we deal with that. Lisa have take care of Anna all night. She wake me up at 5 o'clock this morning. I take over all the way to 8 o'clock. The daytime nurse have show up. I completely forgot we have trach change today. Then home care team have show up for the trach change. So I have to take a video of it. Lisa might gonna share it later on.
Yeah.
But I completely forgot about it. Then I went to bed and tried to relax a little bit. And we have a nurse with Anna, and I jump in bed and start falling asleep. And all of a sudden, the dogs bark, and the nurse start calling me. And of course, we're always on the edge here. It's basically how I describe our situation. We sleep with a dynamite stick underneath our pillow, and always have to be ready to respond to any kind of situation within. And we have, and this morning the nurse, calling me, the dog's barking, and obviously something's going on. Then I'm hurry up. I grab the first pair of pants beside my bed, and it's Lisa. How you call those short pants?
They're Capri Reebok.
Capri Reebok. Capri for a woman is the first thing coming my in. I don't know what's going on downstairs. Jump in this. I grab 2 different shoes.
When you're on the run, grab some Reebok pants.
The other one is there.
It doesn't matter which gender.
And it's how our life goes. And, always have to be ready to answer to any kind of situation.
At least this time it wasn't my purple ones, my bright purple ones. Last time I come running down and the nurse was trying to be serious in the situation. It wasn't a serious situation. It was just a simple question or something simple matter happening. And here Hugo is thinking is this big situation, throws on my sweatpants because I like to wear sweatpants. So he throws on my purple sweatpants, bright purple ones, and he comes running down and I hear the nurse giggling. I'm like, what is going on? So I run down the stairs and there she's giggling because Hugo's wearing these bright purple sweatpants.
I have my shirt inside out or my pants inside out on the middle of the night when the alarm went off, and we giggle after that. It's like we have some very funny moments sometimes happen even at the hospital. Lots of frustration, but some good moment is if we will say to it's always bad, we will be lying. But I mean, if we put all the situation we go through together and we try to tell our story to people look at us and say, "You guys crazy."
Yeah,
not a chance that
well, it's 1 out of 2. People either tell us we should write a book, or they tell us we should be having our own YouTube channel, or they tell us that if they didn't see it for themselves all these years and haven't known us for all these years, they would never believe it. But my other question, Hugo, how would you explain spinal muscular atrophy to everybody? Because we are parents that come from Williams syndrome but didn't get a whole long time with our son who had Williams syndrome and hydrocephalus. But spinal muscular atrophy, when you're first introduced to it, I just wanted to kind of introduce it, and how would you introduce that? And then as a type 1, by the way, there are different various types.
For me, it's the only thing I have seen it close to this, and I didn't see it firsthand, is first when I see all the the mid-skull side of it, I was thinking first of all Christopher Reeve. And it's funny because Christopher Reeve do lots of research for spinal injury and genetic and things like that. But I mean, for me, all it was, well, first of all, we have discussed about that before. I've been 7 months before I met Anna for the first time, and then when I walk inside the room, it's like, woof. And I mean, you have cable, you have tubing, she was plugged from all over the place.
And I'll just interrupt real quick, and just to say, Hugo is Anna's biological father. He had to travel across Canada for another situation because he has 3 children across Canada. So that's why when Anna was born, he wasn't able to be there, and then didn't get to meet her until 7 months after she was born. So.
But I dive in it very quickly and try to look at where every little line was going and things like that, and I pick her up very quickly. I think it was inside. It took me 15, 20 minutes. I think it was.
I think the whole room. We walked in. Him and Anna stared at each other. It wasn't even. It was 5 or 10 minutes, and everybody starts talking after they have quick introductions that this is Dad, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, he was just looking at her, and then all of a sudden I start looking at him analyzing everything, and you start seeing the room start analyzing, and everybody start going quiet, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, what is he going, is he seriously looking to pick her up? And all of a sudden he just takes her and picks her up, lines, tubing, and all. Feeding tube, I tell you, it was everything. She had an NJ tube in their nose. She had her BiPAP mask on her. She had sat monitors. Yeah,
oxygen monitor, full cardiac monitor on the 3 sides.
And he just picks her up, looks back at where the chair was, and sits back with her. And I'm trying to locate the picture that we have where he first sat down with her, and he's in a gown, and he's just looking at her, and he's looking at him, and it was they knew each other already. It was she looked at him oh, you're finally here. It was that kind of look.
And the eye contact was right at the moment I walked beside her, and she never broke the eye contact the whole time. I was analyzing the whole thing, and I pick her little body up, and I back up to the chair, and I sit, and of course she's totally floppy toned, and sometimes you need to be careful with your neck, and it was the first time I pick her up. Then Lisa was a little bit nervous, but Lisa was reacting very good. My mother-in-law tried to step in right away because she's thinking I cannot handle this kind of stuff. And Lisa have,
I asked her to back
mom,
her up.
backup is the
Yeah.
first time they see each other.
Yeah, I said I think he's got
My
this.
voice starts shaking right
But
now.
it was really cool because the one nurse was like, she's kind of like giving Hugo his space, but like right there in case she has to quickly react. And everybody was silent. There was like a big hush in the room. And as soon as he sat down and he was like comfortable with her, they were both in a good sitting position. You hear the room like, you know, it was weird. And of course, the room that we stayed in is called an ice room. So the ice room has sometimes 4 to 5 different families in this room. So you are dealing with families who are going through so many medical situations and so many different situations that...
For the definition, I'm going to interrupt, sorry, Lisa. For the definition of people who they are not very familiar with the hospital setting, it's you have the PICU, you have the unit to, respiratory unit, cardiac unit, cancer unit, and Anna was in respiratory unit, but what you call, and you have a double room to usually 2 patients by room, and you can have 1 nurse for those 2 patients. And the ice room is more a small PICU setup. It's not like PICU, but it's more intensive care. It's
kind of like a small trauma room.
And it's just like
something happens.
And lots. You have 2 or 3 nurses in there. The respiratory therapists stay closest in case something happens. And that is when you get there. It's either it's gonna pens out very quickly, or you're going to end up in PICU. It's just like the transition. And same thing happened on the opposite way. When you've been in PICU for a while, and the patient's getting more stable, doesn't really need PICU no more, but need more intensive care, they will put us in the ice room for a little while. And when she stabilizes more on her baseline,
then we get placed into another room, either individually or with another patient, depending on if the patient's sick or if Anna's sick. Considering she's immune compromised, the majority of the time they would be like, "Oh, we reassure you that this sneezing, coughing patient is not sick." And then all of a sudden we're like, "No, we want this person, like this person's coughing severely and stuff." And so then we have to fight with them. They test the person. Sure enough, the person's got rhinovirus or something. And then 2-3 days later, we are all, Anna starts getting sick and we're in the hospital for 4 months in total, when we should only be in there for maybe a couple weeks or a month. But now she went from from having no rhinovirus to a rhinovirus, and now we're in hospital because she's sick with rhinovirus that leads to pneumonia, and it just becomes a disaster.
And it's something we fight for with the system for a very long time. And one of the major problem in the hospital, they have a very, very, very a phrase they use to get upset by it is, "We will wait and see." Wait and see from a mid-school prospection. It's not supposed to. When you have little sign, you start to technically. I'm come from a first responder point of view thing. You try to be proactive, and it's just like play hockey. If you play defensive all along, you will not go nowhere. You will maybe win a little bit, but you will not be at your best performance. You have to be proactive other than be reactive all the time.
I had to giggle a little bit at that, because now every time we go somewhere or something happens or a situation happens, me and Hugo kind of take this deep breath. We look at each other and we're like, well, we'll wait and see. And we just laugh, because that is the scenario of our life now. It's like, okay, it's like eating popcorn and like, okay, what thriller is going to happen next? And all of a sudden they're like, oh, that was it? Really? That was it?
It's basically like, you cut wood with a saw, and you get a lot of stuff in your face. But you're going to say, I'm going to wait and see. If I get something in my eye, I'm going to put my glasses out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like no sense. And it's like this, it's happened all the time.
Yeah,
and
we're like, well, we'll wait and see. And we know the predicament. We just know where we're heading, but we're like, okay, we'll wait and see. And maybe it'll just take that turn or curve. But it takes the way we know it's going, but with more curves and obstacles that we've expected than before, right?
And another phrase they like to use when you show up at the hospital with your child, and things, they are bad, but they are fairly stable. Everything's doing okay. You have no tension. They like to tell you a phrase they like to use, and they use it with us for about 14 years. Oh, you guys are the mom and dad. You guys know your child the best. And they like to use that. But when the things start going south a little bit, and we told them that's coming and that's coming,
Yeah.
and you're gonna have issue with this, and that's gonna get worse, and your potassium level is gonna drop, and after that, your
She's
calcium
dehydrated,
levels,
yeah.
she's gonna get dry. We'll wait and see. But 2 days before, they was telling you guys know your child the best.
Yeah.
But
Who
it's
you
like
dealt with
it's hilarious.
So you've
It's-
like really, been proactive and really done a lot of pushing for education of in that hospital because you want to be proactive with all these people pushing hospital ethics against you because they don't want you to be proactive. Myself, I also believe in science. Like my whole spiritual life, I believe that, and I believe in science as well. But I believe that we have science for a reason for lives, and I truly believe we aren't using it efficiently to the way that we could be to save lives and that we should be there for others. So, in my sense of belief, with spinal cord injuries, things like that, spinal muscular atrophy, and it is a part of that science. And she has her purpose for life. And I ask her, do you want to do this? And she'll tell me yes or no. Do you want to go for this treatment? She'll say yes or no. Is this treatment, do you feel any difference? And she'll tell me yes or no. Do you have headaches? Yes or no, right?
Yeah, and she's very responsive. And yesterday was kind of funny. She's 15 years old, and we have tendency as a parent to, because we went through a lot with her when she was a little girl, and we have, even if we are mom and dad, she's gonna be always our little baby, and sometimes we see her too much like a little baby. She's 100% clear of mind,
15 years
and
old.
she's almost 15 years old. And yesterday she was very stressed out about her nurse, and she was upset, glaring at me, high heart rate, and I decided I'm gonna put my foot down with my 15 years old girl and have a serious talk to say it's very rare. She's always have been our little princess. She's always overprotected, and I decided to have a serious talk with her. It's time for her to come down. She knows how the thing goes. We have put a lot of fight together at the stollery, and you don't cry like this. And I tried to keep my serious to have a serious talk to try to
talk to Anna.
To talk to Anna, and I want to talk. You're gonna come down now. Your heart rate is too high. It's not good for you.
And she's gonna be okay.
And she closed her eye and have a snotty look, and you can see she
doesn't want to hear nothing of it.
She doesn't want to hear. And I start talking. Oh, you worry about Nebula? About her nurse, and she start going. Again, yes. She's stressed out, and her heart rate's going up a little bit. She gets red in the cheek. Said, Nana, it's enough. And she closed her eye. Just like her mother. Doesn't want to hear nothing. She thinks she's right. She thinks she's the only one who knows everything. Oh, sorry, hon. I get. But anyway, that is the kind of stuff we're dealing with on a regular basis. And today, my home care team come from the trach change. That went awesome. But we bring up another subject of conversation because since COVID and since some situation inside the house, it's more complicated to find a nurse who fit with us, right? And some nurses, they are terrified of dog, and we have few dog, and it's not negotiable. I will not put my dog in the kennel. The nurse have to adapt themselves to our dog, and it's what it is. Then put the thing a little bit more complicated, but it's usually because of the situation with COVID. They have lots a day in the week. Sometimes lately it's a little bit better, but sometimes it's night in the week and 2 or 3 days during daytime to have no nurse. And it becomes very complicated. And I offer them to lower the level of care for Anna, but I mean the level of qualification, not the level of care. The care will stay the same, but certain stuff, we want it to go down from LPN to it's a licensed nurse to HCA to it's only a nurse aide. I think the description is what we
wanted to try.
No. The difference between LPN and maybe you can explain the difference.
To be able to have the variation of, since COVID, it's been very hard to be able, or difficult to have nursing staff. So we made the suggestion of, can we, have some HCA care then so that we can have more backup care, things like that, or other families. And they were like, yes, at first, but now they're telling us, no, you can only have either the HCA care, which is basically care aid, or an LPN. That's it. So now we have nurse shortages for all these families, and you can only have one or the other.
Yeah,
That's
then
it.
basically we will start at the square one again, because if we decide to what the goal was is they have hole in the schedule. They don't have enough staff to cover every hours. Then I told them, I said, at night time, we never go anywhere, then it's okay, because we are not allowed to leave the house if we have only HCA. We need to have a LPN with us if we want to go grocery shopping and go for activity with Hope or whatever the case might be. If we want to leave the house, both of us at the same time, we need to have LPN care. And then what they told us is we cannot do this. What I wanted is, okay, example, 2 nights a week we don't have any care, throw a HCA in there, and if we have to get up to give them medication, because HCA is not allowed to give medication, we're going to get up, do the medication, and go back to bed, not a big deal. They told us, no, we cannot do this. You need to have LPN or HCA. You cannot have both.
Mm-hmm.
Then basically, we're going to start at square one again. We're going to lose the 3 LPN we got, have to start all over with HCA, and they're going to turn around. They cannot find enough HCA to cover you. Yeah. Other than mixed both. You know, we have 3 nights a week. We have LPN, or 4 nights a week we have LPN, and 3 nights a week we're gonna have HCA. They cannot do that, too complicated, they say. And after that, they say they try to do their best to help the family, to accommodate the family and things like that. We give them solution,
but they don't want to fix it.
You
want to know why? Because their hands are tied.
Because their hands are tied.
Right.
That's what they told us all the time.
That's what we commonly hear from practitioners, pediatricians, specialists.
And when we talk about all the issue, we go and we try to put complaint, or they told you, they told us go put a complaint at
and then we ask,
patient relation doesn't want to take care of it. And when we go back to home care, told them what's going on.
No, wait, we did have somebody in patient relations who really was wanting to work with us and take our cases on and was really adamant about it. And then all of a sudden, poof, she's gone.
Poof, gone.
Yeah, and they say you have no choice but to deal with this specific person. And we're like, wait a minute, there's controversy and conflict here, though, and I do not want to deal with this person, and I have the right to choose not to deal with this person, to request someone else. Well, that was a flop. They put that right under the carpet and said, nope, not going to happen. You have to deal with this person.
You want to complain about some, example. If I doesn't want to use a name to, I'm going to take company XWX, do something wrong to you, and that company work for healthcare, and you want to put a complaint against them, but the person who decide who you're going to deal with, it's the company who have done something wrong. Do you see that? It's basically ridiculous.
Passing the envelope. I mean, sorry, I don't want to make assumptions. I mean, that was an opinion of mine. But I mean, I wonder where the envelopes go around. But I mean, that's just my opinion of things. But anyways, it's amazing when you start actually really starting to pay attention to the whole system around you, the healthcare system, how it's set up. Privatized or not, people are like, oh, I want privatization so that when I go in the door, I'm going to get automatic care. Okay, but you're going to get automatic care, but what about the 50 people that can't just do that and end up homeless from the big bill because of that? And now you've got about 50 people trying to break into your home because they're homeless and they have no money or food. What do you think about that?
I'm stoned. But yeah, what we go through is ridiculous, and they try to make people believe, yes, I understand the system cannot be perfect, but that is beyond to not be perfect. You have lots of negligence, lots of abuse, and we've seen it, and the sad part is they seen it too, but they told us to end or die. And some of those people telling us they agree with us at 100%, but if they talk, they're going to lose their job.
Yeah, they're afraid to lose their job.
They are afraid to lose their job. And it's a quote. It's not in my opinion. And it's a quote from some of them.
From top professionals that have even been saying this, which is really sad because none of them want to step forward. They see what we fight for. They see what we've advocated for. They've seen what our family goes through, from home care to nursing to everybody. But nobody has ever been willing to step forward and say, yeah, this has been wrong and we need a revamp, and this family should have never endured that amount of stress from what we have caused.
Okay, I'm gonna add one more thing, and after that, I have to go get ready. I have a psychologic evaluation today.
Psychiatric evaluation.
Whatever.
You gotta be great. You gotta get it right.
And I'm going by myself. Usually, when I go for some of those, I took Lisa with me because she can sense when I start getting.
They almost request that I come with them sometimes to help him maintain himself because he's in the angry stages of PTSD, which is untreated. He's in the complex PTSD, sorry, and he's also in the angry adjusting stages of the ADHD. You were just diagnosed with adult onset untreated ADHD.
That's what they're going to focus on. Just like the last one I have seen, I walk in the office 15 minutes after I was diagnosed with ADHD. Doesn't want to listen to me about my family situation for the past 15 years. And I get out of there 15 minutes after with a prescription of ADHD meds. The funny thing, I have my stepson with me who have an appointment with the exact same doctor.
Different last name.
Different last name. No idea. We've been related. I went in at 11. I get out of there at 11:30 with a prescription of ADHD meds. My stepson went in, explained the same situation. Basically, he come out with the same diagnosis and the same meds. That, I tell you, that blew my mind.
And both of you had the exact same thing. He didn't even listen to you guys. Within the first 15 minutes, he had a diagnosis.
And that brings me to the next story I wanted to say to you. I forgot what it was. No, it was. Oh yeah, the first night. Just tell you the flaw in the system. For the doctor, nurses, everybody who have taken the oath to work in the healthcare, they know to personal opinion. When during your practice, you are not allowed to, right? You go for the best interest of your patient
to do no harm,
and to do no harm, and you're not allowed to personal opinion and things like that. But anyway, the first night we bring it at home after 14 months the hospital, and they told us, "Oh, you guys tonight is gonna have an RN, a registered nurse."
Come do the training and everything.
Come do the training, and she will be the one who's gonna train all the nurses. I'm gonna make the story short. I know, Lisa, I like to add a lot of detail in it, but we're not gonna go in detail because I have something else to do. And it's 2 a.m. That's my ADHD part of it. I'm tired to be sitting here right now.
Even though his appointment's 3 hours now.
And my appointment is in 3 hours. I have to be an hour early because it's what my ADHD is. I hate to be late. But anyway, that RN show up, and of course, she probably be ashamed to do what she wanted to do. In my head, she's been saying at home to do exactly what she have done that night. Then I went to bed.
She was nice before.
She was nice before. Nice. I went to bed, and I have a very good sense of hearing, and the house was not very big.
It's a bungalow.
It's a small bungalow, then I'm not very far away.
From the kitchen.
Then she wait till I go to bed by myself, and Lisa's going to stay with her to explain what's going on with Anna a little bit more. And all of a sudden, I start hearing the conversation passing from good to getting a little bit heated. Then I start putting more attention to it. And basically, what that RN was saying to Lisa, she was completely wrong to do what she's crazy. Everything what she's done is wrong.
Everything I believe in.
Everything what she's believing, she's wrong. She should reconsider to basically shut down the machine for Anna and pass at something else.
And I should commit myself.
Yeah, and she should admit herself at the hospital to fight. And that is from a registered nurse.
Yeah.
And if you look at the law, technically she should have lose her license. We'll report that at home care to have to answer to AHS. And it was supposed to be investigated. They tell us they're going to investigate it. They tell us they're going to give us a report. We never see anything in this. We never see nothing in this whatsoever. And that it was event after event after event after event like this for 15 years.
But some good things did come out of it. We were able to strongly advocate a few things out of that. We were able to start analyzing our nurses that came in the door because we had some issues with nurses that would like to just sleep on the couch and pull up their blanket and take some of it as morphine, and I noticed that was going down for a little bit.
Yeah.
So we had issues where nurses were falling asleep in the chair, and it would be desatting. Her oxygen would be at 79%, and heart rate would be like in the low 30s or something, and we'd be like it's almost a critical situation here. And the nurse is snoring while me and Hugo are pumping and working on her and bagging her and trying to get every breath in her, and this nurse is snoring, and we're like, what the heck? And finally start realizing morphine is missing and all this stuff is happening, and nobody believed us. And finally we lost it. We said, like, this is the kind of nurses you guys are sending us. I want to evaluate my nurses before they come in the home, because I've had it. I said, now I had an RN do this to me. I've had a nurse siphoning our morphine, my daughter's morphine, nurses falling asleep beside my daughter, not waking up in emergencies.
And
I said, that's it.
What was the best one? And now, guess what? She had a supervisor position.
Yes, we had one in training, and and she says, you know what? You're going to do sleeping tonight, or I'm going to sleep a little bit, and you'll do this for a couple hours, and then we'll switch, and then you can sleep. And so he just ended up letting her sleep, and we woke up a little bit earlier than usual, and we woke up to see how things were going, and all of a sudden this nurse is crashed out cold on our couch, and he's shrugging his shoulders.
With a blanket.
Yeah, shrugging his shoulders like, sorry guys. And then they gave her a supervisor position now with the company, and this nurse is still with the company. So my PTSD, when I speak with this nurse who's fell asleep 2 nights in a row, which I gave a second chance to, is now a supervisor within the company. She shouldn't even have her license personally, but this is the kind of scenarios that we will start getting into more of and start explaining more of our stories and stuff. So Hugo's got his appointment, and I've got a few things we're going to run and do, and eventually we'll start sharing more of our events and our great adventures that people are like, you know what, you guys should be writing a book about. And we are like the night and day of life. Like, it's positive or it's extremely negative, and it can be really dark and it can be really good. But it's like I say, it's one step at a time for everything we do.
Maybe we have time for a little bit more. One more story. It's hard. We have so many things to say. I mean, people cannot believe it's supposed to be one of the best hospitals in the world. And
where's my holy sheet handle?
Yeah, holy sheet handle. Yeah, we need to. Yeah. And anyway.
Holy sheet.
Yeah, and
That's another story.
And when at the hospital, I cannot remember the timeline exactly. Anyway, she have hematosis in her intestine.
It's like a bacteria in the intestine.
It's a bacteria and creates some air pocket in the intestine and starts splitting the little, anyway.
So it can rupture your intestine.
Can rupture your intestine. They have a suspicion to, with the blood work and the infection in her blood, they have some suspicion to she might have a little leak. And they needed to do chirurgy to see what was going on. And my family doctor at the time said, Hugo, I set up a consultation with the surgeon, and he's going to come see you and things like that. And, be nice. It's a complicated guy to get hold on. And anyway, he show up, and I have a rule. You have 30 seconds.
I like you or I don't.
You have 30 seconds if I'm going to like you or if I'm going to not like you. And unfortunately, he failed. I start by, it's like I look at her file, I look at her situation and my personal opinion. Again, personal opinion. Doctor is not allowed to have personal opinion. Not allowed to. It's right under oath. I seriously don't think the surgery worth it, and basically you should reconsider your decision and again, shut off the machine.
Instead of giving her what she needs.
My family doctor told me to be nice. He's a complicated guy to get hold on. I said, you know what? I'm not going to waste your time with you. Come back right where you come from. Get out of here. He doesn't want to see you. He said, do you know how it's hard to get an appointment with a person like me?
Do you know who I really am?
And do you know who I am? It's very hard to get me a consultation with me. I said, I do not care who you are. You just told me to shut down the machine for my daughter. Go out. I'm going to find another one. It doesn't need
And we
it.
did.
And we did.
Actually, it was ironic the way we did find it, and that's going to be another story of how that happened. But, with children with SMA, they need special requirements, and the hospital didn't want to follow through the proactive lifestyle that you can give these children that they are living to today with now receiving treatment. They told us, and I would never live to see the day of a treatment. And she's been going on with the treatment for 3 years.
Do you remember when one supervisor of a specific team what I've tell you, when he said he's gonna have a treatment, is gonna come out soon. He said
Oh.
he's gonna personally
Put
put a
together a
medical team
team.
together and
If
to
we-
help us to take our daughter where
that ever happened.
if that ever happened. Guess what? It have happened.
And we never saw a team.
We never saw a team. We've been traveling to Calgary, me and Lisa and Anna,
which
on
is
the back of a
2.5
minivan
hours.
on snowstorm and be stuck in the back of the van changing diapers and bagging Anna because she's de-statting on the highway on the way up to Calgary,
And the roads
people was looking at us like making the sign, you want us to call 911? No, bagging Anna, she's fine.
We're
how's
smiling,
going?
waving. But
Yeah.
you know, and it's not only that, it's 2.5 hours to 3 hours travel. And the roads can be really treacherous when you go there. Like the weather, sometimes when it rains so heavy, you literally cannot see anywhere in front of you and you have to pull over. Those roads are really bad. And in the wintertime, I don't know how many times me and Hugo finally start going, we're all happy, and then all of a sudden we hit extreme horrible weathers, and there's no way we can get through that with an ambulance, with a tiny little minivan that she's sideways in, and you know, there's no way we can do that. But anyways, guys, we've got a lot of stories we're going to go through eventually, events that we've been through, current events, all that kind of stuff. Thank God our nurse is, you know, prayers can go out to her anyways, praying that she does continue to, or energy or whatever, that she continues to do well, and that everything was really seriously okay. And, yeah, I guess we will, you know, let the stormtrooper go, and we will... You know, this is our first real, get together.
I think I should have the Jedi sword when I go to the
I think it's like
appointment and things like that, right?
it's like Hope says, you know, she says, Mom, when she looked at the picture of you and me, she goes, you look like you're too young for Dad now. It's like, maybe I gotta toss you in and get a new one.
I go for it. Go for
I
it.
think my trooper is getting a little bit, no.
Oh my goodness, I tell ya. Anyway, that is what it is. Then thank you for watching. That was, which one that was? Was Peaceful Rage.
Yeah, Peaceful Rage, not Rageful Peace, but Rageful Peace. He's more controversy, so you'll see a little bit more controversy in a lovely situation, but he likes to get right into the depths of controversy.
Yeah, yesterday I get a little bit upset, and if you guys want to go see on my channel to his Rageful Peace,
a bit of Alex Jones.
I give my personal opinion about Donald Trump, Alex Jones, the government of Canada, a little bit of American politics on it, and yeah, they talk about gambling addiction and a Roman scam and all that
Oh,
stuff.
I tell you, we can.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of CNN. I love CNN, and I love it.
It drives us crazy. That's all he ever watches. That's all he ever knows. That's all he ever. Oh, guys, I'm gonna flip it to CNN, but we're watching a movie. I'm gonna flip it to CNN. Oh, and I'm seriously, he's addicted to CNN.
Yeah, and I know we come from Canada, but I mean, I have a lot of family in the state, and I'm always, you know, I love CNN. I just love it.
It drives us crazy. The girls and I, as soon as he's like, I'm switching it to CNN, the girls and I are like, we roll our eyes. Anna big time rolls her eyes. But then he switches it to CNN, and there's some time, when there's an interesting topic, you see all of us kind of like, even my youngest, we all kind of like looking, and we're all like, and we're watching, and then we all have these political discussions afterwards. And Anna just goes, or she's like, no. And she loves to watch Donald Trump's speeches. For some reason, she just laughs.
Yeah, she laughs. She doesn't love it. She finds it ridiculous. That's what's happening.
She finds him humorous. So that's one thing about our daughter. So, like, to say that her mind is there, it is there. She just, you know, she loves to watch politics. She loves social and science, and it does. Our oldest daughter. So
Yeah.
She doesn't like math. So Hope loves math.
Okay, that's it.
All right.
Enough. Thank you guys for watching, and please subscribe below. Hit like, hit whatever you want.
Hit the bells.
And like
Ring
we
the
have said
bells.
before, some people will not like what we have to say, but what we have to say. But
We can be controversy.
yeah,
And we can be right raw and right blunt and right straightforward. But anyways, it is what it is, one step at a time. You can start following our healing journey, start following our opinions, and start following our nuttiness, I suppose, and stuff like that. So I guess, yeah, we can just keep going like that.
yeah.
All right.
Thank you guys.
We used to hide under the covers, serenade each other. something very deep inside us that made her in their mind. Like piano keys, you play it for me.
On the other side. Oh, and now we have we are very rare somebody.
Even in my sleep, I hear like the We couldn't stop the world from turning. It was like a whirlwind, scattered us like leaves.
Hi guys, we're going to show you something kind of new. Okay, so Anna, I'm going to try to hold this as still as I can. Okay, wiggle. Did you guys see that? That is something crazy. This is new. Do you see this muscle? Wiggle. Wiggle it again, Nana. It's like a little heartbeat. Oh my gosh, Nana. See that? That is something she never had before. And this, wiggle again. Oh my gosh, do you see that? Like, that is something she hasn't done. Wiggle again. She never did that before. And it's like, I know it's weird. It's a little movement, but that is so cool. I don't know, I haven't tested out her other leg. We were doing stretches and stuff, and then all of a sudden I noticed she did this. So, wow. Hey, Anna. So she just had Speranza treatment last week, but that was kind of cool. So that's a new movement, guys.